Hi everybody, I'm Bob Marone for Westchester Talk Radio. We are now with our friends at Hightower Westchester. Today we have Roman Ciosek, who is the Managing Director and Partner at Hightower Westchester. Today we're talking about retirement and the various retirement plan options such as the 401k plan, IRA, Roth IRA. Roman, tell us a little about the differences of the 401k plans, IRA, and Roths.
Hey, Bob. Nice to see you, and thanks again, as always, for having us on. It's a pleasure being here. So let's get right into this, and let me just kind of start high level. We'll talk a little bit about the 401k plans and the importance of them from our sort of lens. As many of you do know, or potentially do contribute, a 401k plan is an employer-sponsored type of a plan. Majority of the time, it's the employer that establishes it, and the employee does make the contributions into that. The amount for this year, for 2022, the employee can do up to $20,500. If they are over the age of 50, they could do an additional $6,500 for a total of $27,000. Now, the beauty of these plans, they can be constructed to sort of be customized. And from the employer side of things, there could be an additional $34,000 contribution, which comes in a form of a match for the employee and also a profit sharing piece as well. So in total, these plans, one can contribute from tax IRS standards up to $61,000. The beauty of this market, it has evolved somewhat, and now they do offer something called a Roth component within the 401k plan. So there are two features, if you will. One is a pre-tax and one is a post-tax. The traditional 401k plan, the money is pre-tax. So if you're making $100,000 and you contribute, let's just say $20,000 in this particular example, that $20,000 goes in pre-tax, and year end, you're doing your taxes. Instead of you paying taxes on $100,000 of income, you're actually paying taxes on $80,000. And that $20,000 grows pre-tax. And once the funds are taken out, there is ordinary income on those funds, and that's taxed at your ordinary income tax brackets. You could take the money out at age 59 and a half, and then at age 72, you start taking RMDs on the majority of this, depending on working, things like that. The Roth piece of it is a little bit different. I find it something that we try to emphasize to the younger individuals to utilize this strategy. Although the money goes in after taxes, the nice thing is that the money grows completely tax-free. So upon retirement, whatever age that may be, you do not have to take the required minimum distributions from these funds, and the money grows tax-free, which is a huge benefit overall. So again, those are the two types of different 401k plans. And in this particular case, again, if somebody puts in $20,000 into a Roth, and if they're making $100,000, they're going to pay taxes on $100,000, and then that money comes out after for that 401k plan. And just a couple of other quick benefits. 401k plans do have the option of offering loans, some of them, and that's up to $10,000. That is, or 50% with the greater up to $2,000, and it's the max one can take out is $50,000 per year from IRS standards. So that's clearly a benefit. And the funds need to be in by calendar year from the employee piece of it.
Another way to save for retirement are IRA and Roth IRA plans. Can you explain the differences between the two options, Roman?
Sure. So yeah, this is another powerful tool that we're always asking our clients whether they have them, whether they have contributions, and it's something we clearly coordinate with their tax advisor. But if they don't have a 401k plan, we obviously feel the importance of them saving for retirement and having the ability to have some tax write-offs as well. So we encourage them to put money into an IRA. So with the traditional IRA for 2022, you could put up to $6,000 pre-tax. And if you're over age 50, it's an additional $1,000 catch-up for a total of $7,000. At many times, these funds are deductible for tax purposes. So it's, again, something you check with your tax advisor. And the other part of an IRA is that if your spouse is not working, you then have the ability to make a spousal contribution for them as well. So that's clearly a benefit. The funds are, you could take the funds out at age 59 and a half. You could take them out earlier, but there is a 10% penalty. And when you do take the funds out, you are paying ordinary income on those funds. After age 72, these funds, you have something which is called a required minimum distribution, which is a percentage of the total assets based upon that calendar 12/31 year. And you take those required minimum distributions for your life expectancy, and there's a calculation for that as well. There is legislation now to push that year, which was 70 and a half, then it became 72, and legislation that they're trying to push this to age 75. So we hope that does materialize. And as far as contributions into these plans, they have to be in basically by April 15th, or when you're filing your taxes. So you have from January 1st, let's say, of 2022, up till April 15th of 2023 to make a calendar year contribution, or at least the previous year for that matter. And then, you could take funds out to purchase a house as well. There's a $10,000 availability for that. You bypass or forego that 10% penalty. You still pay taxes on it as far as ordinary income. And then you could take it out for qualified education and total and permanent disability. Again, this is prior to age 59 and a half for those things that I just mentioned.
Roman, so then how does a Roth IRA differ from a traditional IRA?
Yeah, so again, another powerful tool. It's the Roth piece of it is after tax dollars, and the benefit of that is, so again, the same example. If you're making $100,000, and if you make a $6,000 contribution, it's $6,000 if you're under age 50, $7,000 over age 50. That money is after taxes. So you're still paying taxes on $100,000 of income, but that money grows completely tax-free in perpetuity. So perfect example is if you put in $50,000, it grows to $75,000. When you take the money out during retirement, the money is completely tax-free. So that's clearly a huge benefit for that. Something to keep in mind that also there are limits as far as income limits as to allowable to make a Roth contribution. So if you're filing individually or single, it's $144,000 for income tax purposes. And if you're over 214 as joint, then you're limited. It's sort of graded back to depending on income. So you could make partial contributions into those Roths if your income is in between there. And some of the benefits of the Roth just are clearly you're getting depreciation from a longer term standpoint. It's tax-free appreciation. The other nice feature of it is there's no required minimum distributions on these at age 72. So a significant amount of flexibility as far as when you can take this out to complement your overall tax or income potential. And the nice thing, again, it grows tax-free, so you don't have to take those funds out. But it's having that flexibility when and if you need the money. And the other part of it is that it's something where we're utilizing this more from a longer-term estate planning standpoint, is that you have the ability to transfer these funds. If you pass away, obviously your spouse has or could put that into her Roth IRA. But if all of a sudden you do pass away, your kids then have that ability to have those funds tax-free. The laws have changed somewhat with the Secure Act, where, and this was a couple of years ago, prior to that, you could take that Roth as a beneficiary if I'm the child of my parents and then spread this out upon your life expectancy. But of late, the way the law works now is that you have to deplete that Roth IRA, and also applies to a traditional IRA, within 10 years. So if I inherit $100,000 today, I need to take out $100,000 or all of it in year 10. But I could spread this out. I could take it out year one, I could take 10,000, year two, I could take 10,000, year three, et cetera. The beauty of it is you could take all of the Roth money out in year 10, right? So you have the ability for it to keep growing. But the government just kind of figured out how to make this a little bit short-lived, and they minimized the amount of time that you could utilize these strategies.
A question, Roman, if I may, before we wrap it up. If you put in that $100,000 and you have good fortune and over 10 years it accrues to $130,000, do you only have to take out the original 100?
So in this, if you put 100 and then it grows to 130 and it's inherited, I'm sorry, did you say, or if it's just in general?
If it grows to $130,000 or some other number, as the market moves, perhaps in your favor, you only have to take out that mandatory $100,000, correct? You have to take out what you put in.
In the Roth part of it, you basically could take out whatever amount you want. It could be the appreciation, it could be the principal. You have the flexibility to take out whatever you want to take out. Doesn't matter if it's just a principal. So it's a significant amount of optionality around it. So it's not like you're locked in to just take out the principal. You could take out all of it or some of it.
Okay. All righty. Wow. Thank you so much for explaining the various options to us today, Roman. It is important for people to understand that they have options and that they have the information to be able to make an informed decision. I can't stress that enough. Thank you so much for being here with us again today. Roman Ciosek, Hightower Westchester.
Thank you, Bob. It's always a pleasure.
HighTower Westchester is a group of investment professionals registered with HighTower Securities, LLC, member FINRA and SIPC, and with HighTower Advisors, LLC, a registered investment advisor with the SEC. Securities are offered through HighTower Securities, LLC. Advisory services are offered through HighTower Advisors, LLC. This is not an offer to buy or sell securities. No investment process is free of risk, and there is no guarantee that the investment process or the investment opportunities referenced herein will be profitable. Past performance is not indicative of current or future performance and is not a guarantee. The investment opportunities referenced herein may not be suitable for all investors. All data and information referenced herein are from sources believed to be reliable. Any opinions, news, research, analyses, prices, or other information contained in this research is provided as a general market commentary. It does not constitute investment advice. HighTower Westchester and HighTower shall not in any way be liable for claims and make no expressed or implied representations or warranties as to the accuracy or completeness of the data and other information, or for statements or errors contained in or omissions from the obtained data and information referenced herein. The data and information are provided as of the date referenced. Such data and information are subject to change without notice. This podcast was created for informational purposes only. The opinions expressed are solely those of HighTower Westchester and do not represent those of HighTower Advisors, LLC, or any of its affiliates. HighTower Advisors do not provide tax or legal advice. This material was not intended or written to be used or presented to any entity as tax advice or tax information. Tax laws vary based on the client's individual circumstances and can change at any time without notice. Clients are urged to consult their tax or legal advisor before establishing a retirement plan.